the Evergreen Media Network Studios, brought to you by Evergreen Media, creating cohesive marketing campaigns. Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
Hi, friends, and welcome to Growing Old Fearlessly. I am your host, Julie, and I want to thank Evergreen Media for making this show possible. If you would like to host your own podcast right here at the Evergreen Media Network, you can reach out to them at egreenmedia.com. So I want to start this show by talking about or doing a little quote by the great Tony Bennett. He once said, "To me, life is a gift, and it's a blessing to just be alive. And each person should learn what a gift it is to be alive, no matter how tough things get. And it is also a gift to be able to help others by sharing of ourselves." And with that, I want to introduce today's guest in my show. She is the Executive Director at the Senior Collaborative of Indian River County, and her name is Dawn Redstone. Welcome.
Thank you.
So happy to have you here today.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Fantastic. So tell me a little bit, just really briefly, what is, because it's a long name, what is the Senior Collaborative of Indian River County?
The Senior Collaborative is a not-for-profit 501c3 agency. We are a United Way agency. We serve just Indian River County, but all things about seniors. We help with navigation of services in this area. We also are a major collaborative or collaboration with other agencies and other organizations in this county to increase and to help the betterment of seniors in their life.
Oh boy, and that's for sure that they need it. Before we start about all the wonderful things that you guys do, I want to know a little bit more about you. How did you come about to where you're at now?
So many years ago, when I first moved back to Vero Beach after living in the Atlanta metropolitan area for a couple of years, I worked for the sheriff's office as a detective. I did major felonies, primarily initially juvenile, and then I did other major felonies as well. I was with them for a number of years, including spending some time doing crime prevention and being on several different task forces and so forth, having to do with children and having to do with individuals and women and safety issues. I left the sheriff's office when I was pregnant with my son, my second child, who now is a detective with the sheriff's office.
Well, look at that. Just following Mama's footsteps.
And his dad's. Very definitely his dad's. So left the sheriff's office, went into healthcare. I spent many years at Indian River Medical Center and was there twice. I was the marketing director over the psychiatric part of the hospital for a while, for several years. And then I also was the patient relations ethic facilitator and compliance officer for a number of years. Left the hospital, went back to the hospital several years later, again back in psych, and worked for a management company. Was there for a couple of years doing that, ran the ropes course, just, loved the hospital very much. But the contract ended and I stayed with that company and I traveled a good bit for them, preceptoring other marketing folks, hiring and firing other marketing folks in med-surg hospitals throughout the country, including working as an interim person as an administrator for a brief periods of time in med-surg units. Came back to Vero. Well, I still lived here, but I came back to Vero full time. My dad was very ill. And so I needed to come back and take part in helping with his care and so forth. My mother was doing an exceptional job, but it was taking its toll upon her as well.
How old was your dad at the time?
Oh, gosh, he was in his 70s. He had CLL, which is chronic lymphatic leukemia, and he suffered with that for about 9 years before he passed. So when I came back, I worked in senior living. I worked with several different assisted living communities and worked with private duty agencies as well. So I got to the senior collaborative because I've been on the executive board and on the board of directors for a number of years. Randy Riley started the agency. It was his brainchild. He, along with several other agency leaders such as Karen Deagle and Meredith Egan and quite a few others, put together the collaborative as seeing the need for seniors in this county. He was the executive director for many, many years. The agency has been in existence for 5 years. I've been on the board for 3 previous. And I was his succession plan because he's said he was going to retire. Well, he hasn't completely retired. So he's still helping us out a good bit, but he also is doing some work with the Senior Resource Association in the guardianship program. So he'll never retire. And besides, I need to keep him on a leash. He's so helpful to me.
Yes. He knew exactly what he was doing when he brought you along. You didn't even know.
I didn't even know, but that's okay. We're good. Randy's an exceptional guy, and he's really done a lot for the collaborative and had it grow. And so I'm the next phase, I guess.
Well, yes, and you are taking good care of it. And you are still taking care of your mother. Your father passed, but your mother is still around.
She is still around, but she's still doing pretty good. She just had her 89th birthday, so
that is
she's still
awesome.
doing pretty good.
Isn't it great when you see them getting, I mean, I don't know, I don't see myself at 90 years old, and that's how old my dad is now. Mm-hmm. And here you are with your mother. I mean, I mentioned in my previous show how one of my friends had said that these times that we are spending with them now are sacred moments. And so I'm just going to share that with you, that I know that you know.
I know.
But it's sacred because when she's not there, you're going to look back and it's going to be like, oh, I remember when I did this with my mother. Yeah. She was 89.
Yeah, she just had her birthday. She actually is doing exceptionally well. She's cognitively good, and she's, when she gets around, we have a dachshund who basically rules the roost, and she takes him for many walks, which is really good for her, and he loves it. So
it's
good.
Mutual benefit.
It is.
Oh, that is great. I always like to find out about my guests' parents, if it is possible, just mm-hmm. because I compare it to my own relationship with my dad, and I think it's great.
Yeah, thank you.
But let's keep talking about the Senior Collaborative. Okay. And for those of you who are viewing or listening somewhere else that it's not Indian River County, Florida, you can still listen to this information because there are similar agencies wherever it is that you're at. We're just providing the information to help you navigate, which is exactly what the Senior Collaborative does, right?
We do. We have a navigation program. Our navigation program you can reach through telephone or even through our website. And we get calls and contacts, basically soup to nuts. Lots of calls, lots of contacts, people, seniors, their loved ones, family members, their neighbors, their physicians, offices, you name it, looking for services for their particular individual. Because we do some advertising, we get calls from out of the area as well. There's nothing we can do about that. We literally just serve Indian River County. However, because of my sordid past and working in healthcare for all these years, I do have a lot of connections in some of the other surrounding counties. So I try to share that with them as well. The navigation system we work with, as I said, we get soup to nuts calls. We may have a call from a gentleman who wants somebody to change the light bulbs at his house, or a family member that is looking for 24/7 care for their loved one, and they happen to be out of state, and mom or dad is here. And so they're trying to find out what they can do, what kind of services are available, and who can help them make that happen for them.
Okay. So I know that because I did go to your website and mm-hmm. I was looking around and just navigating the different services, which are not services, they're domains. Each one has like various agency partners.
Yes.
You have partners for housing, transportation, food and meals. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So if I get a call from somebody who may be becoming homeless, I'm going to do my best to refer them to other agencies such as Treasure Coast Homeless or some of the other agencies or housing developments that might be fit within their needs and within their means. In this county, we really do we struggle right now with housing. Some of the subsidized housing communities have 1, 2, 3, 4-year wait lists, which is horrible for a lot of folks. But we will try and refer them to Habitat for Humanity or through some of the other communities that might have put themselves on a wait list to get that going, or to the Source, or somewhere that they can get services or get information to help them through their next steps in their life. We also partner very, very strongly with the Senior Resource Association, with the United Against Poverty, with the Mental Health Collaborative, with Cleveland Clinic, with Steward Medical Center, with just soup to nuts, literally. As far as the agencies go, we have a really good relationship with all of them and really nurture that. And so we refer these folks constantly.
So let me ask you this. Let's say somebody like me who has a elderly parent.
Mm-hmm.
I hate calling elderly, senior parent, senior, like super senior.
That's okay.
And I have a super senior parent in his own home, and it's time to make changes, or maybe he can't afford his home anymore. Can I call your agency and you help me find which way to go?
So we have lots and lots of members. Our members are different agencies, different companies, different service providers in lots of different genres. So we will try to, it's a case per case basis. So if I find out what's going on with Dad and what your goals are for him, what his needs are, I will try and match you with companies or with individuals that can help you navigate that system. It may be an assisted living, or it may be a group of assisted livings, or a placement agency that can help you at no cost to try and find the right space. It may be going to Senior Resource Association because they need Meals on Wheels, or need transportation such as the Go Line or the Community Coach, or they may need some assistance with groceries, and the United Against Poverty has lots of great opportunities there. They may need employment. Yes, we do re-employ some of our, folks that are a little older than you and I, and so they have great programs to help with that as well. So it's just all about trying to make some decent matches and make some decent recommendations so that they can help, solve their problem, or at least get their needs met.
All right. Well, that sounds great. Tell you what, we need to take a quick little break, and we'll be right back.
Advertising is essential. You've got to make people aware that you're there. We can do that with a cohesive marketing campaign from Evergreen Media. Based on your business goals, we'll create a mix of digital advertising on social media sites like Facebook, video advertising on streaming sites like Hulu and Paramount Plus, and supplement them with local TV and radio ads. Build awareness, educate, and inform the public with a cohesive marketing campaign by Evergreen Media. Check out egreenmedia.com or search online for Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
If you dream of creating a home with furniture where you make life one long weekend, visit Sunshine Furniture now and save 50% on all Tommy Bahama and Lexington during the fall savings event. Bedroom, living, and dining room, home office, media, and occasional furniture that is inviting and comfortable, Tommy Bahama and Lexington offer everything you need to furnish your Florida home. We're also having a huge half-price fall sale on lots of other coastal furniture by Universal, Hooker, Riverside, Seawinds, and Capri, including big sales on patio furniture by Berlin Gardens, Lloyd Flanders, Telescope, Kingsley Bait, and Windward. All pictures, lamps, and accessories are half price, and in-stock rugs are on sale too. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in Vero Beach next to Planet Fitness. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com and be sure to shop our outlet store directly across the street.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Have a sunshine day. Sunshine.
Hi, I'm Ralph Winook with Dale Sorensen Real Estate and ResidentialRalph.com. When you're interested in buying or selling a home, contact me. As your agent, I will work nonstop to ensure that your buying or selling experience is smooth and stress-free. I will be there for you at every stage of the process to answer your questions and help you make an informed decision. So, why wait? Contact me, Ralph Winook, and schedule a consultation with me today. Visit ResidentialRalph.com. That's right, ResidentialRalph.com.
And we're back to Growing Old Fearlessly. Thank you for joining us again. And I do want to thank my sponsor. You just heard him talking. Ralph Winook with Dale Sorensen Real Estate. He is Residential Ralph, and he can help you with any of your buying or selling needs. And you can reach him at residentialralph.com. So we are back with Dawn Redstone from the Senior Collaborative of Indian River County. And I wanted to find out a little bit more about the future. What are the future plans for the agency?
So this last year, we actually took over running the Senior Expo. So we had a Senior Expo, which is like a humongous health fair. We had the Senior Expo this year on March 23rd at the fairgrounds. We had nearly 70 vendors. We had 529 attendees. It was amazing. Coming out of healthcare and doing that for so many years, I've done tons of health fairs. Not my favorite thing to do, but this one was absolutely amazing. Great speakers, everything. We had 25 people on a wait list that we couldn't accommodate because we didn't have enough space. So we are already working on next year's, which is March 21st of 24. Again, back out at the fairgrounds. We've actually already sold out inside, but we are also adding this year, we're going to have under the 2,200 square feet pavilion at the fairgrounds, we're going to have space available as well. We anticipate a larger number of folks. We have some amazing sponsors. Our premier sponsor is Cleveland Clinic, but Treasure Coast Community Health, Senior Resource Association, quite a number of healthcare agencies, VNA and Encompass, and there are too many to mention. Renaissance Senior Living, Discovery. There's just too many to mention.
So it's a great place for
huge.
anything having to do with seniors, from maybe their Medicare insurance or
anything. We've got a lot of insurance agents. We've got some financial planners. We've got Cox Gifford, Baldwin. There's, funeral arrangements.
I don't think about the end of life.
We've got elder care attorneys such as Marie Conforti and Pam Hennig, and then the elder estate and elder care group out of Fort Pierce. It's just literally everything to do with seniors, from healthcare perspectives to insurance to planning, everything. So we hope that you all will remember in March of 24 to take part. There will be more information about that.
I would just have you back right before so we can remind all of the audience that it's coming up.
That would work. That would be very nice. We also have a program that we're looking to start, hopefully the end of fall, and it is called Upslide. And Upslide is an acronym.
I'm going to help you with that because I wrote it down. It's utilizing and promoting social engagement for loneliness, isolation, and depression in the elderly.
Exactly.
So tell us what it is about.
So Upslide, again, all about seniors. So there was a number of studies done pre-COVID and since. And pre-COVID, they said about 14% of our seniors were lonely or isolated. And after COVID, that amount had basically doubled. And so if you think about it, during COVID, we had to isolate. So we were told not to go out. We were told to stay in, don't do anything. Well, if you have a senior who may not drive or may not have a lot of interaction with their families to begin with, they lost a lot of interaction with families and with other humans. So then when COVID decided to kind of come off, I know that we're having some resurgence of it now, but when things started to open back up, the seniors were still at home alone. Very few of them got back out again. And being home alone, sometimes they get more lonely. They weren't taking care of their healthcare needs. Medicare did a study and said it was costing them $6.7 billion a year in healthcare costs because of the seniors of loneliness and isolation is causing, they're not eating appropriately. They're not doing their medications appropriately. They may not have other human contact other than maybe from somebody from Meals on Wheels or somebody from private duty or a Medicare agency coming to see them for healthcare issues. They're not taking care of themselves. If they had substance abuse issues before, those sometimes are exacerbated. They may not be eating appropriately. They may be eating cat food. There were a lot of things that were happening. So Upside was a program that was started in the Tallahassee Community Center. It's been going on for 3 years. They have served 579 people in the Tallahassee area. They started with a group of 20 and a friends group. They got them out to that center, and they basically had a friends chat group. They had a mental health component that was purely their, voluntary, where they did an assessment and so forth and would help with depression and help with, if they noticed some healthcare other concerns, they could get them referred into getting those things taken care of. But basically, to make friends, to have activities, to do things, to re-engage in life again.
Yeah. This is one of those things. I mean, I'm sure that we all have a neighbor that is, up there in age. And if we would only just go knock on their door and say, hey, how are you doing today? Just wanted to say hello. It would make their day.
It would, because, you'll have neighbors and you'll see them, and just to say hello is just a godsend to them. So we're hoping to start that. And we have a couple of locations already decided upon. And so we hope it to grow. And Tallahassee has given us their program and said, here you go. It's a nationally awarded program. So we look to start that in Indian River County and work with Indian River County seniors to enhance their life and make friends.
That's great. So everybody pay attention. Keep your ears open when you hear about Upslide. Now you know what it is about. Dawn, I wanted to find out, I'm just a little curious about any particularly challenging situations that you have encountered in your position.
So every day is a challenge, because every day we get a call from someone who needs something different. I had a recent call from a friend who I've known for years. It's a local business person, and their loved one was going to, needed care. And so she needed advice on getting that person care because they were in hospice, or they were part of hospice. And so I was able to link them with a couple of places that might be good for that family. And so they did make a decision, and that individual did go into a facility and lived out her last days with the best life she could. And the family was incredibly happy that they made that connection, and that she had her best quality of life that she could have for her last days. So that was one of the many.
That's good. Well, I want to thank you for being my guest today. Thank you so much for giving us all of this information. If anybody needs to know anything, they can always Google Senior Collaborative of Indian River County. I want to end the show, as always, with a quote. And today's quote is in memory of Jimmy Buffett. And I'm sure that we were all fans. And in the words of Jimmy Buffett, life is a journey that's not measured in miles or years, but in experiences. I am inspired by people who keep on rolling no matter their age. And with that said, you all go out there, keep growing old fearlessly, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.